like a single moment shattered your entire mood? A sharp remark, a dismissive glance, or an unexpected obstacle. Suddenly your peace is gone, hijacked by forces outside your control. But here's a radical truth. Nothing and no one can dictate your emotions unless you hand them the keys. What if you refuse to be a puppet of circumstance? What if your inner world remains steady, untouched by the chaos around you? Picture yourself moving through life like a mountain winds howl, storms rage, but you remain unshaken. This isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about mastering them. It's about realizing that peace isn't something the world gives or takes, it's something you cultivate, something you defend. And when you do, no passing storm, no careless word, no fleeting hardship can steal it away. Control. We chase it in the world around us, controlling circumstances, controlling others. Yet the real battle has always been within. True power isn't about bending life to your will. It's about mastering the one thing you can control, yourself. In this episode, we're uncovering 10 profound lessons that will shift the way you experience life. You'll learn to step away from impulsive reactions, free yourself from anger, and reclaim the calm that is already yours. But this isn't about silencing emotions or pretending to be unaffected. It's about something far deeper, developing the inner strength to stand unwavering no matter what life throws your way. To face criticism with wisdom. To set boundaries with confidence. To release the past with peace. Because in the end, emotional mastery isn't about suppressing the storm. It's about learning to stand still within it. Let's begin. In a world that often feels like a constant storm of opinions, demands, and distractions, what if the key to peace was already within you? In this episode, you'll discover not just tools, but transformations that will empower you to protect your inner calm and live with unshakable confidence. By the time we're done, you'll hold in your hands the mindset and strategies that will allow you to stay untouched, unbothered, even in the most trying moments. So if you're ready to break free from emotional chaos and unlock the secret to living a life where no one can control your mood, let's begin. Your journey toward emotional freedom starts now. Lesson 1. Understand that your reactions are your choice. Picture this. You're having one of those rare, peaceful days. Maybe you're sipping coffee in your favorite spot or strolling through a quiet park, the world around you calm, serene. And then something shifts. A comment, a glance, a sudden inconvenience. Now, in that moment, you are faced with a choice. You can let the world's energy invade yours. You can react, or you can choose to stay grounded. Your reactions, they are always within your control, not the external world. You're in the midst of a peaceful moment, maybe sipping your favorite coffee, enjoying a walk in the quiet of the day. And then, out of nowhere, someone says something rude or thoughtless. In an instant, your calm shatters. Anger, frustration, maybe even hurt, rush in, clouding your mind. You wonder, why did they ruin my day? But here's the truth. They didn't. You did. The world can't control your emotions unless you hand them the reins. Your feelings, your reactions, they belong to you. No one can take that from you. Not with their words, their actions, or their judgments. Only you have the power to decide how you will respond. Think of it this way: life will always throw challenges your way. But in the end, the only true power you possess is the ability to choose how to react. So let me offer you a new perspective. The storm isn't outside of you. It's within. And only you can decide whether to let it rage or remain calm in its wake. Imagine this. You're in the heart of a bustling city, surrounded by the noise of honking cars and loud, overlapping conversations. It's chaos. But what if you're wearing noise-canceling headphones? The noise is still there. The chaos still roars around you. But it no longer reaches you. It's as if you've created a bubble of peace, untouched by the storm outside. Mastering your reactions works the same way. The noise of other people's actions, whether it's rude comments, careless behavior, or criticism, can still surround you, but it doesn't need to pierce your peace. A wise thought captures this beautifully. Between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space lies our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. When someone cuts you off in traffic, or when your work is criticized unfairly, it's easy to feel like they're the ones who've robbed you of your peace. But what if, instead of reacting impulsively, you chose to pause? In that brief moment, you find power. The power to choose calm over chaos. The strength to act, not react. Here's a real-world example. Imagine your coworker dismisses your idea in a meeting. Instead of snapping back or letting resentment fester throughout the day, take a deep breath. Reflect. Is this about me, or is it their own stress or bias showing through? By simply reframing the situation, you detach from the emotional charge and regain control over your feelings. The beauty of this approach is that it's not about suppressing your emotions. It's about recognizing that your emotions don't define your reactions. You are not a slave to your impulses. You are the architect of your response. Anger, frustration, disappointment, they're all part of being human. But here's the key. They don't have to dictate what happens next. Imagine you're in a situation that triggers you. Maybe it's a rude comment, a minor setback, or someone's thoughtless behavior. Instead of reacting impulsively, try this simple strategy to break the automatic cycle and regain control. 1. Pause and identify. The first step is to pause, just for a moment. Name the emotion you're experiencing: anger, hurt, irritation, whatever it is. By labeling the emotion, you disrupt the automatic reaction, giving yourself the space to choose a different path. 2. Ask questions. Now, reflect. Why am I feeling this way? Is it the event itself that's causing the emotion? Or is it my interpretation of it? Understanding the root of your reaction is key to gaining control. 3. Choose your response. Finally, decide how you want to act. Not based on the heat of the moment, but in alignment with your values and long-term peace. In that moment, you have a choice. Will you respond with anger, or will you act with grace and clarity? Imagine the freedom of walking through life unbothered by others' actions. The rude stranger, the thoughtless remark, the minor inconvenience. Each of them loses their power over you when you take control of your reactions. Because in every moment, you have a choice. You can let others dictate your emotions, or you can reclaim your power and protect your peace. The next time someone tries to push your buttons, remember this: their behavior doesn't define you. Your reaction does. And in choosing calm, you don't just gain emotional mastery, you unlock a deeper kind of freedom. Now, let's talk about expectations. It's easy to fall into the trap of expecting others to act the way you would. We all do it, believing that others should think, behave, or respond in the same way we do. But then when you need someone and they're nowhere to be found, disappointment washes over you. You think, how could they be so inconsiderate? I would never treat them this way. Here's the hard truth. People don't operate by your standards. They don't see the world through your lens. They act based on their own experiences, beliefs, and values. Expecting others to behave like you, to think like you, is like trying to control the weather. It's futile. It's impossible. The sooner you let go of that expectation, the sooner you'll find peace. Expectations, they are the invisible chains that bind us to frustration. We spend so much time wishing that others would act, think, or behave exactly as we would. We believe that if they would just change, things would be easier, less frustrating. But in truth, this only leads to more frustration, more emotional turmoil. Because the reality is this: trying to control or change others never leads to peace. It only leads to powerlessness. Picture this: every person you meet is walking their own unique path. That path has been shaped by their upbringing, their experiences, their wounds, their desires, their beliefs, and the vast array of choices they've made. So when someone does something that annoys, hurts, or frustrates you, it's rarely about you. It's about them. It's their response to the world based on who they are, not a reflection of who you are. This is where we often go wrong. We think, if they just knew how I feel, if they understood my perspective, they would behave differently. But this assumption only leaves us disappointed and powerless. When we try to change or control others, we are essentially trying to bend their path to fit our vision. But that's not how life works. Instead, the true path to peace comes from accepting others as they are, not as we wish they would be. This doesn't mean we condone harmful behavior, but it means we stop giving others the power to disrupt our emotional equilibrium. We learn to release the illusion that we can control them and instead focus on controlling our own responses. Let's take a practical example. Imagine a coworker who constantly interrupts you in meetings. You feel your frustration rise as they talk over you, as if your thoughts don't matter. Your instinct might be to snap back, to call them out, or to stew in resentment all day long. But here's the shift. What if instead you recognized that their habit has nothing to do with you? It's not a personal attack. It's not about proving you're wrong. It's their own behavior, shaped by their experiences, their insecurities, or even a lack of awareness. By letting go of the expectation that they'll change or behave differently, you set yourself free. The moment you release that mental grip, you step out of the emotional cage. You stop feeling burdened by their actions because you understand that they are the ones who must live with their behavior, not you. This brings us to a profound truth. Expectations are the root of all suffering. The less you expect others to behave a certain way, the more you protect your peace. You stop giving your power away to things that are beyond your control. You take responsibility for your emotional landscape, realizing that the only thing you can truly control is how you choose to respond. Now, here's a practical exercise to help you let go of these expectations and regain your peace. 1. Acknowledge your assumptions. When someone upsets you, stop for a moment and ask yourself, what did I expect them to do? Was there an unspoken assumption that they should behave according to your values? Did you expect them to read your mind and understand your needs without you saying a word? This is the first step in breaking free from the cycle of disappointment. 2. Challenge that expectation. Ask yourself, is it realistic to expect someone else to behave exactly as I would? Is it fair to put that burden on them? More importantly, is it even within their capacity to meet that expectation? Often, we expect people to respond based on our personal beliefs and values, forgetting that they have their own unique framework for seeing the world. 3. Shift your focus. Rather than focusing on trying to change others, shift your focus inward. Focus on how you can respond calmly, thoughtfully, and with grace. Ask yourself, what values do I want to reflect in this situation? What's my highest response? One that preserves my peace, rather than fueling anger or frustration. Think about the liberation in this mindset. The rude stranger who cuts you off in traffic. The forgetful friend who doesn't show up when you need them. The inconsiderate coworker who undermines you. None of them have the power to disrupt your emotional state unless you give them that power. When you stop expecting others to meet your standards, you reclaim your emotional freedom. You begin to live in alignment with your deepest values, not in reaction to the behaviors of others. You realize that your peace is not contingent on anyone else's actions, but on your own choices. In the end, you are the architect of your emotional landscape. No one else gets to dictate your peace unless you allow them to. Think about the last time you found yourself in an argument. Maybe it was over something small, like which route was faster, or something deeply personal, like a disagreement with a close friend or partner. As the conversation escalated, did you feel that familiar urge to prove your point? That burning need to show them you were right? We've all been there, clinging to our version of the truth like it's a lifeline. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself why? The need to always be right is exhausting. It creates tension, fuels frustration, and damages relationships. At its core, this impulse often stems from insecurity, as if being wrong somehow threatens our worth or identity. But here's the question to ask yourself: would you rather be right, or would you rather be at peace? More often than not, our insistence on winning an argument isn't about truth. It's about ego. We fight to defend our pride, to prove our intelligence, to maintain a sense of control. But what if true power lies in letting go? Imagine someone unfairly accuses you of something. Your instinct is to defend yourself, to fight back, to prove them wrong. But before you react, pause and ask, is this worth my energy? Will winning this argument truly change anything important in my life? Most of the time, the answer is no. Here's a practical example. A friend insists their way of handling a problem is better than yours. You could argue, debating every point, trying to make them see your side. Or you could simply say, I see where you're coming from, and I respect your perspective. Just like that, the tension dissolves. You've maintained your calm and avoided unnecessary conflict because you chose peace over pride. Lao Tzu captured this wisdom perfectly. He who is attached to his views will never grow. Letting go of the need to be right doesn't mean abandoning your principles or silencing your voice. It means recognizing that not every disagreement needs to end in your favor. It's about choosing when to engage and when to step back. How to cultivate this mindset? Pause before responding. The next time you feel the urge to argue, take a deep breath. Ask yourself if proving your point is truly worth the energy. Seek understanding instead of victory. Shift your mindset from winning to learning. Ask questions. Try to understand the other person's perspective rather than just pushing your own. Pick your battles. Not every disagreement is worth your time. Save your energy for the discussions that truly align with your values and impact meaningful outcomes. Over time, you'll notice a profound shift. You'll feel lighter, calmer, no longer weighed down by the need to control every conversation. You'll realize that arguments only have power over you when you allow them to. And here's the ultimate truth. Your value isn't measured by how often you win debates. It's measured by how you carry yourself, how you protect your energy, and how you maintain your peace. So the next time you feel the pull of an argument, pause and remind yourself, being right won't make me happy, but being calm will. And in that moment, you'll experience the true power of letting go. Picture this. You're passionately sharing an idea, something you truly believe in, when suddenly someone interrupts with a dismissive remark. Their words cut deep, and the confidence you once had vanishes. Why does this happen? Because too often, we let other people's words shape how we see ourselves. Here's the truth. Your worth isn't defined by someone else's opinion. Not by their compliments. Not by their criticisms. Not by their judgments. When you rely on others to validate you, you hand them the power to control your emotions. But true emotional freedom comes when you take that power back. Think about this. A colleague criticizes your work not constructively, but in a way that feels personal and harsh. Your instinct is to defend yourself, to feel wounded, maybe even to question your own abilities. But what if, instead of reacting, you paused and reminded yourself, their words reflect their perspective, not my value. When you detach your self-worth from someone else's opinion, you protect your peace. You take back control over your emotions. Marcus Aurelius put it best. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, yet care more about their opinions than our own. This isn't about ignoring feedback or shutting yourself off from constructive criticism. Growth comes from reflection and learning. But not all opinions deserve space in your mind. The key is learning to filter what truly matters. Ask yourself, is this feedback constructive, or is it just negativity? Does this opinion reflect my truth, or is it just their perception? If I stripped away their words, would my sense of self remain strong? Here's how you can start building unshakable confidence. Detach from external validation. Recognize that you define your worth, not a boss, not a critic, not a passing comment. Reframe criticism. When someone offers feedback, ask yourself, is this useful? If it is, take it as a tool for growth. If it isn't, let it go. Strengthen your inner voice. The loudest voice in your life should be your own. Speak to yourself with kindness, confidence, and clarity. Imagine the freedom of walking through life unaffected by others' opinions. The rude comment, the dismissive remark, the unfair judgment. None of them hold power over you unless you give them permission. Because in the end, it's not their words that define you. It's how you choose to see yourself. Imagine this. You're having a great day, feeling confident, moving through life with purpose. Then out of nowhere, someone says something. Maybe it's a harsh critique, a dismissive comment, or a passive-aggressive remark wrapped in a joke. It lingers. Their words replay in your mind over and over, shaping how you see yourself. You wonder, are they right? Am I not enough? This is the weight of external validation, the invisible chains we carry, often without realizing it. But here's the truth. Unwarranted negativity does not deserve space in your mind. Others' words only hold power over you if you let them. So how do you stop letting others define your worth? 1. The power of the pause. Before reacting, pause. Take a deep breath. When someone's words sting, your immediate reaction might be anger, hurt, or defensiveness. But reacting impulsively only gives their words more control over you. Instead, picture your mind like a vast, still lake. A stone is thrown an insult, a criticism, but rather than creating endless ripples, you let the water settle. This pause gives you the chance to ask, does this deserve my energy? Most negativity is a reflection of the speaker, not the listener. When you pause, you stop yourself from absorbing someone else's insecurities as your own truth. 2. Separating fact from projection. Not all criticism is equal. Some feedback helps us grow, while others' opinions are nothing more than projections of their own fears, biases, and insecurities. Ask yourself, is this feedback constructive or destructive? Does it come from someone whose opinion I respect? Is there actual truth here, or is this just their perception? For example, if someone criticizes your work, but they've never put in the effort to understand what you do, why would their opinion hold weight? If a person belittles your dreams, but they've never dared to chase their own, is their doubt really about you or about them? The world is full of noise. Be selective about what you let in. 3. Your worth is not up for debate. Too often, we tie our self-worth to external validation, to compliments, achievements, or social approval. But true confidence is built from within, not handed to you by others. Lao Tzu once said, "Care about what others think, and you will always be their prisoner." Letting go of the need for validation doesn't mean becoming indifferent. It means becoming free. Free to live authentically, without constantly bending to meet others' expectations. Remind yourself, your worth is not defined by someone else's perception. You are not a reflection of others' opinions. Your value exists regardless of who acknowledges it. Say this out loud: I do not exist for approval. I exist to be my most authentic self. Because when you own your worth, no one else can take it from you. 4. Setting boundaries, protecting your energy. Picture this. You're in the middle of a busy day. Deadlines are piling up, but then your phone rings. It's a friend asking for help with something they could easily handle themselves. You hesitate. Saying yes feels like the nice thing to do, but deep down, you know it will throw off your entire schedule. Or maybe at work, a coworker drops a last-minute task on your desk. They assume you'll say yes because you always do. And here you are again, exhausted, frustrated, wondering why you keep putting yourself last. Here's the truth. Boundaries aren't walls to keep others out. They're doors that allow you to decide who and what enters your space. It's okay to say no. Your time and energy are limited resources, and you have the right to protect them. You don't owe everyone access to you. Being kind doesn't mean being available 24/7. Saying no to others often means saying yes to yourself. And that's not selfish, that's self-respect. Boundaries don't push people away. They teach them how to treat you. 5. The ultimate question: who holds the pen? The next time someone's words challenge your confidence, ask yourself, am I letting this define me? Or can I choose to focus on what I know to be true about myself? Because that's the real power. You hold the power to decide whose words shape your reality. No one's opinion, whether it's praise or criticism, should hold more weight than your own self-belief. The world will always have something to say, but you decide what story gets written. And when you stop letting others dictate your worth, you step into a life of authenticity, confidence, and peace, a life no one can take from you. Criticism will come. Opinions will be thrown at you, some harsh, some unfair. But strength is not found in avoiding negativity. It's found in knowing your worth despite it. So, the next time someone tries to tell you who you are, remember you are not their words. You are not their doubts. You are your own, and that is enough. A powerful reminder comes to mind. You can't pour from an empty cup. We give and give our time, our energy, our presence, until one day we wake up exhausted, drained, and distant from our own needs. Why? Because we never learned to protect ourselves. Because we mistook self-sacrifice for kindness. Because somewhere along the way, we believed that saying no made us selfish. But here's the truth. Boundaries are not barriers. They are bridges to self-respect. Think about this. When someone oversteps your boundaries, it's not their fault. It's yours for not clearly defining and upholding them. People aren't mind readers. They don't always know where your limits lie until you tell them. And if you never do, they'll keep taking, not out of malice, but because they assume you're okay with it. Boundaries safeguard your emotional freedom while strengthening relationships. They teach others how to treat you, and they teach you how to respect yourself. Boundaries in action, a simple shift. Imagine this. You're the person everyone comes to for advice. Even late at night when you're drained from the day, your phone lights up another friend needing guidance, another conversation pulling you away from rest. You want to help. You always do. But deep down you feel exhausted, resentful even. What if, instead of silently suffering, you said, I care about you, but I need to keep my evenings for myself to recharge. Let's talk tomorrow instead. That one sentence, firm yet kind, changes everything. It doesn't damage the relationship. It strengthens it. Because when you honor your own needs, you show others how to honor them too. Epictetus once said, freedom is the ability to live as we wish. And what is freedom if not the ability to choose where your energy is best spent? How to set boundaries without guilt. Be clear and honest. People respect boundaries when they understand them. Communicate calmly and directly. Use I statements. Focus on your needs instead of blaming others. Instead of, you're always bothering me, say, I need some quiet time after work. Stick to your boundaries. A limit means nothing if you don't uphold it. Consistency teaches people that your space deserves respect. Lao Tzu reminds us, he who knows when to stop does not find himself in trouble. Knowing your limits and respecting them prevents unnecessary stress, frustration, and burnout. Boundaries don't push people away. They protect your peace, detaching from the opinions of others. Now, let's talk about something even more insidious, the invisible chains of external validation. Imagine this. You've just shared an idea you're proud of. You're excited. It feels good. Then, someone shrugs and says, "That's an interesting idea." The excitement fades. Self-doubt creeps in. Suddenly, that one lukewarm response is all you can think about. Why? Because we've been conditioned to seek approval, to measure our worth by how others perceive us. But relying on external validation is like chasing shadows. You'll never truly catch it. The lens of others. Here's a truth most people overlook. Everyone sees the world through their own lens, shaped by their fears, biases, and insecurities. So when someone dismisses your dream, criticizes your choices, or questions your worth, ask yourself, is this really about me, or is this about them? Because more often than not, their words are a reflection of their own doubts, not your reality. Why then, would you let their perspective dictate your path? Your worth isn't up for debate. A simple yet powerful thought to carry with you. Your worth isn't up for debate. It doesn't fluctuate based on someone else's opinion. Whether they praise you or criticize you, you remain whole. Think about this. You buy a new outfit. You love how it looks. You feel good. But then, a coworker comments, "That's an interesting choice." At that moment, you have two choices. Let their comment unravel your confidence. Remind yourself that their opinion does not diminish your joy. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." It sounds harsh, but it's liberating. True freedom means being okay with not being understood. How to detach from opinions that don't serve you. Question their importance. Ask yourself, why does this person's opinion matter? What authority do they have over my life? Reaffirm your values. What do why you believe? What matters to why you? Ground yourself in your own truth. Practice letting go. When judgment arises, picture it as a leaf floating down a stream there, but not lasting. Lao Tzu offers another reminder. Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. This doesn't mean shutting yourself off from the world. It means learning to filter. Take in what helps you grow. Let go of what doesn't. Think of detaching from opinions like shielding yourself from the rain. The storm may come, but you don't have to let it soak you. Now, imagine this. You're in a heated argument. Someone says something hurtful, something meant to provoke you. Your heart pounds. Your face heats up. The instinct to snap back is overwhelming. But what if, instead of reacting, you said nothing? The power of silence. Silence is not weakness. It is strength in its purest form. It's not about avoiding confrontation. It's about choosing peace over chaos. Silence in action. Picture this. You're in a meeting. A coworker undermines you in front of everyone. You have two choices. Engage in a back-and-forth argument, giving them the reaction they want. Pause. Stay silent. Let their words hang in the air, exposing their own insecurity. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best answer to anger is silence." Because silence does what words cannot. It reflects immaturity back onto the speaker. It denies negativity the fuel it needs to grow. The ultimate question, who holds the pen? At the end of the day, who is writing your story? The world will always have something to say. People will judge, criticize, dismiss. But you have a choice. Let them dictate your narrative, or pick up the pen and write your own. Because true power is not found in controlling others' opinions, it's found in knowing they don't control you. And when you step into that power, you reclaim something priceless. Your peace, your confidence, your life. There's a quiet power in those who do not react. A force stronger than anger, sharper than words, and heavier than fists. It is the power of silence. Imagine a warrior standing on the battlefield, surrounded by chaos. Arrows of insult fly past. The clamor of provocation echoes in his ears. But he does not move. He does not fight. He does not break. He simply stands, unmoved, because he knows that war is won, not the one who yells the loudest, but by the one who chooses which battles are worthy of his energy. Silence is not weakness. It is strategy. It is a shield against the trivial, a weapon against chaos. When you choose not to engage, you are not retreating. You are breaking the cycle of negativity. You are starving anger of the fuel it needs to burn. The art of silence. How to defeat the unworthy battle. Pause before reacting the next time someone throws a verbal spear your way. Do not raise your shield too quickly. Instead, breathe. Let the words pass through you without wounding you. In the space between provocation and reaction lies clarity. Listen without defending people. Often speak not to seek truth, but to be heard. Let them. You do not have to correct them. You do not have to prove yourself. The ocean does not rise to meet the barking of a stray dog. It remains vast, deep, and unshaken. Speak only when necessary. If your words do not build, let them rest. The Buddhist wisdom whispers, speak only if it improves upon the silence. True power is not in saying much, but in knowing when to say nothing at all. Think back to a time you spoke in anger. Did it bring peace? Or did it plant the seeds of regret? Silence, when chosen wisely, removes that regret. It allows you to think, reassess, and respond, not from impulse, but from wisdom. Silence is not the absence of a response. It is the presence of self-control. It is the realization that you do not have to attend every battle you are invited to, because your peace is not theirs to take. The power of gratitude, a warrior's shield against anger. Picture this. You wake up late. You spill your coffee. Traffic is unbearable. Someone cuts you off and flips you off in return. A fire arises in you. Frustration, anger, that familiar feeling of why is everything against me today? But then pause. Shift your gaze. Instead of counting the things that have gone wrong, count the things that are still right. The sun still rose for you. Your body still moves. Your mind still dreams. You cannot feel anger and gratitude at the same time. One must surrender to the other. Cicero called gratitude not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. It is the antidote to irritation, the dissolver of resentment. How to make gratitude a weapon against anger. Reframe the moment stuck in traffic. Be thankful you have a destination worth rushing to. Facing criticism? Be grateful for the opportunity to improve. Keep a gratitude journal before sleeping. Write 3 things that went well. This rewires your mind to see the good even in the bad. Pause and ask, what is one thing I can be grateful for right now? The answer will change your state instantly. Gratitude is not about pretending things are perfect. It is about choosing to see the light, even when the storm rages. Criticism, the blade that sharpens you. You pour your soul into something, a project, an idea, a dream. You unveil it to the world, and the first response you hear is, "This is terrible." Your instinct? Defend. Prove them wrong. Feel anger bubbling up at the injustice. But what if you reframe it? Criticism, when taken wisely, is not an attack, but an opportunity. It is a mirror reflecting back at you what you might have missed. A blacksmith does not weep when the hammer strikes metal. He knows that each blow shapes the blade sharper. Some criticism will be unfair. Some will be spoken out of envy, ignorance, or malice. But wisdom lies in filtering the noise. Keep what serves you. Discard what does not. How to handle criticism with strength. Pause before reacting. Words spoken in emotion often become regrets written in stone. Evaluate the source. Does this person want to see you grow or see you crumble? Choose whose words you let shape you. Extract the lesson even in harsh words. There may be truth. Separate the message from the messenger. Epictetus reminds us, if someone speaks ill of you, do not make excuses. Instead, respond, "He does not know my other faults, or he would not have mentioned only these." Criticism is not an obstacle. It is a chisel, carving you into the person you are meant to become. The art of letting go, the warrior's final lesson. Imagine holding a burning coal, waiting for the right moment to throw it at someone who wronged you. But the longer you hold it, the more it burns you. This is what resentment does. It does not hurt the person who wronged you, it only poisons you. Letting go is not about forgetting. It is not about pretending injustice never happened. It is about refusing to let that injustice define you. The Buddha taught, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Let it go. Not for them, for you. How to let go and reclaim your peace. Acknowledge the pain-suppressing emotion only makes it stronger. Allow yourself to feel, then release. Reframe the situation. Every hardship has a lesson. Every betrayal holds wisdom. What can you learn? Focus on the present. The past is a place of reference, not residence. Keep your gaze forward. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Emperor, reminds us, do not be disturbed by what is outside your power. Let it go, and you will find peace. Letting go does not mean you are weak. It means you are strong enough to walk away from what no longer serves you. And when you do, you will realize, the lighter you become, the stronger you feel. The unshakable life, mastery over the self. To master your emotions is to master your life. The goal is not to be indifferent, but to be in control. To respond with wisdom, not react with impulse. Every time you choose silence over anger, gratitude over frustration, wisdom over reaction, you take another step toward becoming unshakable. So, the next time life tries to pull you into the storm, stand still, breathe, observe, decide. Because true power is not found in the battle. It is found in knowing which battles are not worth fighting at all. As you move forward, carry these lessons with you. Pause before you react. Set boundaries that protect your energy. Let go of the things and the people you cannot control. Each time you choose peace over anger, wisdom over impulse, and clarity over chaos, you step closer to the unshakable life you were meant to live. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who could use a little more peace in their life. And if you have your own insights on staying unbothered, I'd love to hear them. Drop a comment below. Thank you for walking this path with me. Remember, emotional freedom isn't a destination, it's a practice. So keep showing up for yourself, stay mindful, and grow stronger every day. Until next time, take care, protect your peace, and stay unshakable.